Is this thing even on? Welcome back to another Lesbian podcast with me, AC. Somebody fine ass daughter. Hoochie daddy, don't care what you call me, just care that you do. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's blessed and highly favored today, because I always am. Today is locations change. You got to be flexible. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to fall through. And clearly, this is a test from the almighty God above, because, yeah. Season 2, episode 2, not season 2, because we in episode 2, season 1. But we had to switch some stuff around. And the biggest part of this is flexibility. And plus, half of y'all don't even know me. Like, y'all done seen me, but y'all don't know me. So let me let you get to know me a little bit. Today's going to be a cute little Q&A. The girls have been in the comments since I posted about another lesbian podcast back in January. So we're going to answer some questions. We're going to keep it cute, answer some questions. And then I'm going to let y'all get to know me a little bit. If you got your questions, ask them in the comments. That's the best way we could go about it. And then next week, I'll be back with a special guest, like super duper special, like super duper 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 special. So I would tune in if I were you. But that's just me. We're going to just rock. Because the comments, y'all, first of all, a lot of y'all are crazy. We started this movement on TikTok. And, you know, the girls are upset. A lot of y'all are frustrated about a lot of different things in the lesbian community. And we all know especially how the black lesbian community be. I'm just a girl. Like, yes, do I dress like a young man? Sometimes. But also I'm 5'9" and 260 pounds. I put on what fits. And my first question, I got my own question. Y'all let me know what y'all feeling in the comments. But my first question is, do you want your stud to take care of you? Like, where do you land on the spectrum? And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. So I'm just curious because, you know, the rhetoric and the commentary is always online. And usually it's in like the older crowd. I'm becoming a part of the older crowd. And I don't want to admit that out loud, but I'll be 30 next month. I'll be 30 in 3.5 weeks. And girl, what the fuck? These 35 and up, 40 and up, I'm like, ooh, y'all stay over there. I'm a rock right here because I don't have time for that. But I guess, you know, to each his own, to each his own. Anyway, we about to hit the question list. I got my TikTok pulled up right here. And I'm gonna give my opinions on my question or on the questions, and then y'all let me know how y'all feeling in the comments. And I'm gonna just go through a few because y'all was getting real deep in here. And I answered this question already, but I want to touch back on this because I just think it's such an interesting question. And I feel like it definitely tells the age of some. The question is, we need to talk about how mass women having femme friends when they are in a relationship. Here's my thing. How old are we? Because if you're in your early 20s, that mindset makes so much sense. And it's not a dig at anyone. It's not not trying to, you know, make anybody feel a type of way for their own opinions and perspectives. But I think that when I was younger in my first relationship, I think that a lot of, you know, who I was friends with mattered, but also I was a cheater. I was a liar. Like, I wasn't a good person. I was not a good person. I was not a healed person, and I didn't care. And I dragged someone down because of it. And so I think that my perspective of it is like, you know, in my early 20s, it made sense. Like, in my early teens or late teens, early 20s, it made sense that my ex didn't want me to, or my girlfriend at the time didn't want me to have, friends who were femmes because she couldn't trust me. And that makes sense. That makes complete sense. If there's context, it makes sense. But I am almost 30 years old. You're not going to tell me who I can and can't be friends with, especially if these people are not disrespecting you in any way, shape, or form. You're not, like, if these people not only respect our relationship, but also respect my and their friendship, if they've never done anything to disrespect you or to misguide you or to mislead you, if they get along with you, if they want the best for you, why would I, like, my ex, that bitch, my ex hated my best friend. This is back in South Carolina. I met my best friend in 2019. Hey, bitch, I love you. I met her in 2019, and we became besties for the resties. Now, I need to preface this story by saying that my ex was a narcissist. I don't know what that bitch is now, and I know she was a narcissist when I was with her. And what I'll say is, my ex hated her because, for whatever reasons, my ex felt like she was a femme, or my best friend is a femme, but my ex hated her because what I can assume is she gave me my power back. Like, my best friend gave me my power back. She gave me my confidence back. She poured into me in this way of love that I hadn't experienced at that point in my life. I didn't value myself at that point in my life. I didn't love myself. My ex was toxic as fuck. And so my best friend was like this wild card. Both of my best friends, both of them I met that year. But my best friend was like that wild card that made my ex like jump scare a little bit. Cause it's like, oh wait, hold on. Like, there's someone else giving you the opportunity to have your own opinion and form your own thoughts. And I can't control that. And so, make a long story short, my ex hated her. My ex hated her. She was so sure that me and my best friend was hooking up. She was so sure that me and my best friend was doing X, Y, and Z. Honestly, we was outside getting free drinks from boys all the time. Honestly, we was outside having a good time, living our best lives. Like, we were living our best fucking lives, and I could not get through the year of 2019 past that. I would not have gotten through things like my dad dying, things like that bitch, my fucking ex, like, just the toxicity and the bullshit of what life had to offer. Like, I would not have lost 100 pounds that year. Like, I would not have, me and my best friend used to go to the skate park and have fucking pizza dates and shit. Like, I would not have gotten through that year without that bitch. And my ex was so like hung up and strung out on like, oh, y'all fucking. I'm gonna let you think whatever the fuck you want. Guess what's not gonna happen? And my family, like my mama and my sister, would always beg me, like, please leave that girl. Like, that girl don't mean you no good. That girl don't mean you no fucking good. And so, man, they would beg me to leave her ass. And my ex would like always threaten me, like, well, if you gonna stay friends with that bitch, like, I'm not gonna be da. Cool. Okay. And my biggest thing was like, your threats are empty because you're not going anywhere. Because yeah, what the fuck. But like, also on the other side of that, my best friend is not going anywhere, and you'll leave before she will. Like, I will put your ass out before I will ever put her out. Like, she's not going anywhere. Like, this bitch will be here forever. And guess what? Guess who's still here? And my point to say all of that is, in life, the toxic, like, you know who belongs and who don't. And when your frontal lobe is a beautiful thing. Don't fight against growth, guys. Go to therapy. Heal and learn and grow. But I think that for me, it's like when you realize and you can finally acknowledge what toxic is and what it looks like, then you know who fits where and who doesn't. And if you interact in a group of people who have problems with your friends, but your friends haven't done anything wrong, maybe you need to reevaluate who that person is that you're trying to be a part of. Like, who that person is, whose life that is you're trying to be a part of. And if that person means you well, and if that person is someone that you genuinely want a part of your life. And I'm not saying in all cases, I'm just saying at the big 30 age that I'm about to be, and all of the things that I've seen, I've learned, the lessons that I've learned, and the things that I can take out of the lessons that I've learned, I can genuinely and honestly say that if it has to be a conversation about if we can be friends or not with femmes or studs or whoever the fuck I'm gonna be friends with, because it's my life and I'm a grown up and I get to decide who will and won't fit in my life and where they will and won't fit. And it's not out of disrespect to anybody, but genuinely it has to be a conversation because my friends were here first and they've carried me through a lot of life. And, you know, if I haven't acknowledged something about them that you have, then we need to have that conversation. But you're not going to tell me what to do. Like, I don't do anything I don't want to do. You're not going to tell me what to do. And in a healthy relationship of any sort, platonic, romantic, whatever that looks like, then, you know, you're going to choose to respect the person. And it can be a conversation that can be had. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? All right, bet. On to the next. We on to the next. We on to the next. We on to the next. Let me see. Oh, brother. Damn. I should have had like all my questions in order, you feel me? Because you know. All right, here we go. I got a good one. I want to discuss being black and mass in a corporate professional space. Boy, do I have a story time for you. I was working for a company last year. Fuck y'all, by the way. Because I know y'all still be checking up and shit. Go to the hottest pits of hell that you can find. And this is me getting my voice back because that space made me so small. I think that, like, I'm in corporate right now and I don't necessarily love what I do, but I don't hate it either. I think that where I'm at right now was a very great transition into what I'm trying to go into. But it's a challenge being mass presenting in corporate blue collar spaces. And I bring up my last job because not only was I mass presenting, but I was one of two black people. And in my department, like in my area, I was the only black woman. And not only did I deal with a lot of racism, but I dealt with, like, they found my TikTok and shit. And I don't mix business with pleasure ever anymore. It was a hard lesson that I had to learn, but they have found my TikTok and they have found what, like, my Hoochie Daddy account, and they would, like, see what I would do on TikTok and then come back and tell me about it on Monday. And it got so, like, they were so close knit and they were so, like, personal. They were all literally friends and related and shit outside of work. And I was just the black girl that was trying to get a check so I could pay my rent every month. And so it was a challenge because who I was online was not who I was there. And I really think that it was just a challenge to exist as so many different things while also trying to respect myself, while also trying to demand respect. Because remember, I just told you I was the only black person there. And to say the least, it was fucking exhausting. I think now, because I'm in a remote position, it's nowhere near as bad. I'm grateful for my position. I'm grateful for, you know, the opportunities that I have. I'm grateful for, you know, where I landed at this point. And so I just think that right now it looks different. But even going in the office, like when I was doing my training, there was this other mass presenting girl there. And I wish I had got her number. Like, she looked so dope. We could have been friends and shit. But when you see other people in these, like, these corporate areas who look like you and sound like you and talk like you and act like you, it's like, bitch. And it's like, it's so exciting because, like, I present a certain way and I show up a certain way, but I'm just a girl. Like, I am really just a pretty fucking princess, and I don't ever want anybody to forget that shit. Right. Let's talk about how mass presenting women should have always been part of the discussion about masculinity, and how mass presenting women constantly redefine masculinity by being their selves, their authentic selves. So I'm going to dissect this and take what I assume this means and provide it in a very put together response. If I can find it, we'll see. We're going to dissect this. We're going to do this in parts. So let's talk about how mass presenting women should have always been a part of the discussion about masculinity. Let's not. It's annoying and disgusting, and I wish we would shut the fuck up about masculinity. I think that masculinity and femininity are so intertwined and intermeshed, and men who, like, people, not even men, people who exist in a world where they don't practice both are the worst kind of people. Most of the time, because they dehumanize, they exist as if you have to be one without the other. And again, I don't know how this question was meant, so I could be answering it the wrong way. So I'm going to try to answer it from both sides, or like different sides of it. But I think that in the lesbian community specifically, in the black lesbian community specifically, I didn't want to be a stud 15 years ago because I was afraid that people were going to think I was a dyke, and I'm not. And I didn't want to be associated with the word or the term, and I didn't want people to be confused about it. And so with that being said, I think that for me, it's more so of understanding, like, just because you are a certain way, you act a certain way, you present a certain way, doesn't mean that you are defining who you are as a person. And growing up, it was really hard because nobody else really looked like me. The one and a half studs at school, she ran that shit. She was that nigga and that bitch. And I was not competing with that, nor did I want to. And when it was time for me to like come out and like enter in that space, it was really hard to like sort through my sexuality. I was really struggling. I was born and raised in the Black Baptist church. We'll have that conversation later. But I didn't know how to be loved by God and be gay. And so it was really hard to want to exist in more of a masculine role. But like also when I was, 10, 11, 12, I thought I was trans. And trans didn't really have a word at that point, not for me. But I thought that I wouldn't go to hell if I was a boy. And so it was a very challenging mindset to have and to develop what that looked like in a healthy space. And so I hate now how like black and white the lesbian community, the black lesbian community specifically, has become in regards to like what the definition of like masculinity or how mass presenting people are showing up. And like, I just think you be you and you be happy and you exist in that space and you curate who you want to be in this world as a human being, because my whole identity is not me being gay. And somebody commented a stupid shit on my account on my Instagram the other day, and I was like, you don't even fucking know me. Like, let's be so clear. You don't even know me. And if I'm posting something about my content, it's probably like another lesbian podcast literally has lesbian in it. It's supposed to be gay. But my entire identity is not me being a black gay woman. There's so much more going for me. I have so much more going for me. Like, what the fuck? I love doing outdoor shit. I'm an outdoor bitch. I'm a macho nigga. Like,
I'm a macho nigga now, man.
What? Like, I'm a macho nigga. Like, there's so much more going for me. I love art. I love the museum. I love being a creative. Like, these back here on my wall, these are my futuristic vinyls. I make these. This is my business. Like, these are the things I pour into. I write music. I write poetry. Like, I play piano. I play guitar. Like, there's so much more to me than just being a black stud. Like, bitch, please. Like, and I'm more mass because those are the clothes that fit. Ask anybody. You can ask any one of my friends. I'm the baddest bitch. Like, we're all bad bitches, don't get me wrong, but I'm a bad bitch, and we all know it. And I stand 10 toes in it. Like, one of my friends have to tell her friends, like, Ayana's a pretty princess. Like, please. Like, yes, 260. She could lift heavy. She do what she need to do, but she's a pretty princess, and she's not going to let you forget that. Because I'm not. Because I'm a bad bitch. And it took me a really long time to be comfortable with being pretty, with being beautiful, with accepting compliments, and even understanding that I was a beautiful woman. Like, you know what I mean? And so I stand 10 toes in that. 25, actually. I'm going to find me an extra few to throw in the pot, because I think that we've gotten so outside of like mass versus femme and all of this shit. Like, let's reel it back in. Let's just bring it back a little bit. Stop, pause, redefine, readjust. Like, people aren't always going to be the same version of themselves they've always been, unless that's the kind of person you want to be. And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents. Y'all, again, let me know in the comments what y'all thinking. How y'all feeling about it? Let's talk about healthy relationships. Realizing both parties need to submit, take accountability, and shower each other respectively in their respective love languages, and there can be balance. Didn't we just talk about that? I'm not even gonna say anything. I agree completely, sis. Let me see who said that. That beauty. And I'm gonna put all the comments in the, like, I'm a do my thing over here. But y'all go see the comments so y'all gonna know where to find them. Hell yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. let's see. I'm gonna do one more question from my personal account. Then we're gonna jump over to the another lesbian podcast, TikTok, and see what they talk about. All right. I need a good question. Can we talk about all of the poor studs in my comments are like, can we talk about how it's okay to be a soft mask, baby? It's okay. I'ma hold your hand when I say this, baby. Fuck how them people feel. It's okay. You be great. You do you. No one in this world ever, like, what I will say is stand in your own light. Stand in your own light. Stand in your own space and understand you. Because those people will find you. Yeah, you don't have to do nothing else but stay black and die. Turning toxic relationships into healthy relationships. I'm not doing shit, because if it's toxic, it's probably toxic for a reason. And that's a conversation that I've been having. Like, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, I'm being crass. Let's readjust. Two people have to be willing to do the thing for the thing to work. And if it is toxic, it's toxic for a reason. And two people have to be open and understanding and aware of why it is toxic to make the toxic thing untoxic. Can it be done? 1000%. I've done it a few times myself. It's not something that excites me anymore. I don't need to do it. If it's toxic for a reason. If there's no solution to it, then I'm not bending over backwards anymore. I enjoy my peace too much for me to have to constantly bend over backwards to make a thing work that's not working. You know what I mean? In any capacity. Touch me nots who only want to date lesbians. I'm not a touch me not. I'm a slut. I'm the sluttiest slut you will ever meet in your whole fucking life. And I said it here first. I'm a slut. I want you to bleep, 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 bleep. Like, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. Like, I want you to show me. I make no apologies for that. Like, now, what I will say is, like, I'm averse. I've never denied it. I don't lie about it, and I don't make any apologies for it. If you think that makes me less of anything, then suck my dick. Point is, I'm averse, and I want you to fuck the shit out of me. Like, I want you to slut me the fuck out. But it takes a lot of trust for me to let anybody do it. Like, if I don't trust you, yeah, there's no point. Like, I also don't be fucking everybody. Like, I know I'm a hoochie online. It's literally just me online. I'm not putting my mouth on everybody, and I'm not letting everybody touch me. I think that sex is a very intimate space for me personally, and I've had to redefine what my relationship with sex looks like very recently, like the last 2 years, because I've always been taken advantage of in a sexual space. I've always been good enough for sex and nothing else. I've always been good enough to fuck, but not to love. And I'm too good for you bitches. I'm not doing that. So, like, the cutesy little comments and the DMs, y'all keep them, because I don't want to. And if I wanted to, you know it. And yeah, I could put my energy in so many other places, and sex is an exchange of energy. And it's so important for me to stay true to myself and connected to myself. I'm not putting my dick in everybody, and I'm not putting my mouth on everybody, and I'm not fucking around. So, to get back to the question at hand, or the statement at hand, touch me nots who only want to fuck with lesbians. There could be reasons why people are touch me nots, and respect people's boundaries. That's first and foremost. Respect people's boundaries no matter fucking what. Second of all, people might not like it. Some people might not like it. And I think that when it comes to sexual exchanges or, sexual relationships or how you exist in those spaces, I think the most important thing is respecting your partner, but also being compatible with your partner. And if you're not compatible with your partner, then there's absolutely no reason why y'all should be fucking around anyway. And that's just my 2 cents, baby. All right. Why lesbians can't leave their exes alone. Y'all love to talk about this bullshit, and it's so annoying. Because, like, stop fucking with the lesbians that won't leave their exes alone. I think that when two women exist in spaces and places and things with other women, like, I think when two women get together, it's such an emotional space, and it's such an emotional whirlwind of, like, fireworks and firecrackers. And as a lesbian myself, if you didn't know, I've existed in spaces so often and frequently where it's easy to exist in the thing that is. And I have I pride myself these days on not getting stuck in situationships and in spaces where my value isn't deemed fit, where you are okay and comfortable with having me a certain way, but not having me in another way. Like, I think that understanding and respecting yourself first keeps you out of those things. Like, I'm not cool with none of my exes. I don't know them bitches. And the ex that I mentioned earlier, he could be the last motherfucker on earth. I could be the last motherfucker on earth. And she needs to stay on the other side of earth. There's not two words we need to exchange. The last two words I said to this woman, or the last sentence, whatever, 3, 4, 5 words I said to this woman was, I hope you have a great life, and send. And that was it. I've not said 2 words to this woman in 4 years. There's not shit we need to talk about. You, the version of you that I knew was a piece of shit. And I don't want to be a part of that. And maybe the version of me that you knew was unhealed and tried to be motivated, but did not value herself, did not love herself, took scraps and crumbs and shit. Like, what do we need to talk about? I know exactly who I am now, and you ain't gonna like that bitch. So let's just not. And even that, like, I haven't had a girlfriend since then, but the situationships that I've been in, dead those shits. Like, I have become a person who will block you and act like you don't exist. And this to protect my own peace. Like, if you've made it extremely clear where we stand, then we don't need to have any more conversations about it. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying, like, that ex shit, like, if you, I'm not saying you can't be friends with your ex. It can be done in a very healthy way. It can be done in a very healthy way. But if it's an ex, or if you, like, if it's a situation where you keep going back, you don't really know your worth or your value. And that's something that, you need to find and heal from and grow from, because I don't have those answers. And I also don't fuck with too many people who, like, still entertain their ex in that capacity. Like, I need to know what that looks like before I commit to you in any way. Because, girl, what? Nah. All right. Let's see. I just feel like I've answered that same fucking question 18 times. All right. What didn't I look at? All right, let's see. They want to talk about the dating pool. How do y'all feel about the dating pool? Because I'll tell you how I feel. It fucking sucks. I hate dating. I hate getting to know new people. I hate reintroducing my energy and my feelings and my emotions into new spaces, because I feel like I am so sure of what I want, right? And I'm someone who's always willing to do the work. And so because I'm so sure of what I want and how I want to exist in love and light, I think for me it's I just don't have time for games. Like, if you're not being intentional about what you want from me, leave me the fuck alone. And that's the nicest way I can put it. If you don't know what you want from me, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me where I'm at. Like, I just don't think that there's any point in interacting or existing in spaces with people who are unsure of what they want for themselves. Like, because I know that I'm dating for longevity, I'm dating for the future, I'm dating for a wife and kids and marriage. Like, and I'm not gonna say I don't have time to waste, because there's not necessarily a time frame or a time limit on what that looks like or where I'm at or what I got going on. But what I'll say is, I'm not gonna waste my time with you if you don't know what you want. And also, I'm not gonna waste anybody else's time. And so if I'm sure that it's not you, I'm gonna move around, because there's not anything we really need to talk about, because I don't see my future being with you. And I think people are allowed to change their minds. I think people are allowed to readjust and reshift. I think that, you don't owe anybody anything and nobody owes you anything. And so when it comes down to existing in those spaces where, you're getting to know someone, I think you need to stay true to yourself and your being and what you need and what you want out of love, life, and the pursuit of happiness. And yeah, don't waste your time. Don't waste somebody else's. That's what I can. That's the best thing I can say, because it's getting real scary out here. The dating pool sucks. But I know, like, in love, I want light and I want peace and I want understanding and I want softness and I want to be able to love in a capacity. Like, I was dating this woman last summer, right? And I'm only saying this. You'll never mention me hear this. You'll never hear me mention her again on this episode. I'm only saying this because it's going to tie together my point. But I was dating this woman last summer, and I didn't know I could love anybody in the capacity in which I loved her. I had no idea that kind of love existed in my body. I didn't know. And now that I do know, now that I've healed from that situation, and I do know that that kind of love exists in my body for another human being, I want it to be in the healthiest ways possible. And I want it to show up unapologetically, unconditionally. And when I say unconditionally, I mean, like, we have a foundation, we have a rapport, we trust and love each other, we have respect for one another. Then the love can become unconditional. But I know that I love in such an unconditional way, it can be taken advantage of very easily. And so I want love to make sense. My favorite movie is The Notebook because it reminds me of my parents, and I'm a simp. Because two things can be true at once. But I know what my fairy tale looks like, and I'm not sacrificing that shit for nobody. So I'll chill. I'm not in the pool, but I'm not against being in the pool. Like, I'm going to just work on me and keep it pushing. And whatever happens, happens. And when she comes, she'll come, and it'll be exactly that. I'm not gonna press it though, because for what? The dating pool still got the same shit in it. It's had in it forever. I'm done with the questions. This was insightful. I mean, episode 1 has dropped. Y'all got a little insight of who I am and how I am and what I got going on. And I'm super excited for what this space is going to look like, because I'm cultivating this space. Somebody Fine Ass Daughter is another space that I'm constantly cultivating to motivate and inspire women of all capacities. And so I'm having the opportunity and being able to do this is like, it's a dream. And I'm grateful that I get the opportunity in the spaces and places to occupy. And so, I am just a girl who never fit in anyone else's box. And so I've created boxes of my own, except for there's no lid and there's no size restraint. There's nobody too big or too small in size and personality and stature and self. Too big or too small to fit in the space. Everybody, my goal in life is to make sure that you fit too. And so with another lesbian podcast, it's going to be a good time. This is going to be a great time. Season 1, episode 1 has already dropped. Episode 2, this is it. Episode 3 is going to be a fun time. If you stayed until the end, me and my best friend, because I'm telling you right now, me and one of my best friends are going to be doing episode 3 together. And that's going to be a fun time. The girls are going to love her. Not too fucking much though, because I don't play about that one. Let me tone down. My mic said I'm too loud. I don't play about her. And I will hurt y'all. And she's wholesome. And the best human, one of the best humans that I know in this life, I will hurt y'all about her. So y'all better keep it fucking cute. But next week's episode will be with one of my best friends, to be continued. Thank you guys for joining in on another lesbian podcast. This is fun. I know you had the time of your life. You know why? because you stayed until the end. And if you didn't, your mom's a hoe. Love you, mean it. Don't miss me too much. I'll see y'all next week.